your emotion had an echo in so much space. You out there without care, I was out of tune. But it wasn't because I didn't know, no. I just know too much. Does that make me crazy? Does that make me crazy? Does that make me crazy? Possibly. I hope that you're having the time of your life. Think twice. That's my only advice. Who do you think you are? Oh, bless your soul. You think you're in control? I think you're crazy. I think you're crazy. I think you're crazy. Just like me. My heroes had the heart, lose their lives out on the land. And all I remember is thinking I want to be like them. Oh, yay! Ever since I was little, it looked like fun. Hello, everybody. It's a beautiful, what is today? Today is Tuesday. No, it's Wednesday today. You know, you get to a place sometimes in your life, and many of you will get to this place. You wait and see. The days become blurry. Monday is no different from Saturday. Saturday is no different from Tuesday. It all becomes one big melting event. So sometimes I lose track of the days. Guys, last few several hours actually, I've been as is my custom in the morning when I wake up, I always have a hoarse voice or a frog voice. And the only way to fix that, the only way to remedy that is if I drink something hot like coffee, tea, hot chocolate, something. And then it becomes better. So if you hear that my voice is a bit hoarse or different or strange, just know it is because of that. Let's do a few shout outs before we begin. And let me also say thank you for taking the time out of your very busy schedule to spend a few moments with me here on SML TV. I was street vlogging not too long ago on TikTok, and I asked some of my TikTok audience members to join me here on this podcast. So that's the first thing I'm going to do. If you're from TikTok and you're here from TikTok, please say hello in the comments, and I will highlight your comment. Thank you so much. Hope Chisanga says, hey, hello. Somebody says, we're at work. Please be quick. So hit the nail on the head. We're running out of time. GM will be here soon. And, you know, this cracks me up about Facebook Live is that they want you to just get to the point. Well, guys, life doesn't work that way. Life storytelling is in three parts. There's a beginning, there's a middle, and there's an end. You can't just rush to the end, okay? So my encouragement to you, who is this? This is who is that? Something. I'm nearsighted, so I can't really see what that is with these glasses. You're gonna have to watch it on the replay. Okay. Hello, Uncle Mel. Long time. Thank you so much. Hey, Simon. I came from TikTok. Love you, Tony Hill. Thank you. I can see Tony Hill. I couldn't see the other guy. Somebody, it was just Denise Woods from TikTok. Thank you. I appreciate you guys so much. All right, let's get into it, guys. As you know, my topic today is we're talking about David Kazadi. Now, let me bring you up to speed. As I said, the title of this broadcast is The Truth About David Kazadi. And in order for you to understand who this guy is, this enigma, really, he is, this savant, I call him a savant. Now, you're going to have to Google that. If you don't know what savant means, you're just going to have to chat GPT it. I'm not going to sit here and spoon feed you. You got to find out on your own. David is a savant, and the only way you can attempt to understand him is really go back to the very beginning. But before I get into that, let me just very quickly mention here that, as many of you know, there's a brand new reality singing competition that was launched not too long ago, about 3 weeks ago. It's called the Icon Zambia. And the objective of this competition is to identify and to select and to pluck out of obscurity a Zambian singer that is outstanding, a Zambian rapper that is outstanding, that can ultimately can be referred to as the icon. So it's a singing competition. So if you want to know what it is, it's like American Idols, it's like Britain's Got Talent, it's got America's Got Talent, that type of showcasing. And it comprises a panel of, it's 4 judges now. It used to be 3. Kiddist used to be with us. She's no longer with us. We have 4 judges. There's David Kazadi. There is Mr. Ballad Zulu, legendary Zambian singer and song composer, Ballad Zulu. There's social media extraordinaire, Ruth Ronnie. And then, of course, there's Songbird Wezi. So 2 women, 2 men. And these are the people that judge the singers that come through. And as you know, at this stage of the competition, everybody comes through, whether or not you know how to sing. Everybody seems to think they can sing. Everybody seems to think they can rap. So they stand in front of the judges and they are critiqued. The judges judge them. Now, for you remember years ago when the idols first came on the scene. I'll never forget that day. Strangely enough, I remember the very first time we saw a situation where people that have gone for an audition were auditioning in front of a camera, and they were being critiqued on a camera. And the people that were judging them or auditioning them were giving real, authentic, quintessential feedback. We had never seen anything like that before. There's a Honda outside. And I remember the first time Idols came on. My wife was the first one that told me. She said to me, there's this show on TV. These contestants, these people that go in for singing auditions, and the judges tell them exactly what they think. And there's this guy named Simon Cowell. He literally he's just honest with them. He tells them they can't sing, and he tells them they don't have a chance in the world. I remember one time Simon Cowell once said to a contestant, he said, "Do you know, if you were the only person in this competition, you wouldn't win?" Another comment Simon Cowell once made was, he said, "Look, this is not a magic wand. I cannot just wave it and then turn you into a fantastic singer. You can't sing, and you've got no business singing." So this Simon Cowell caused quite a bit of a stir, especially when he went to America. In America, people were hostile. They wanted to kill him. They were threatened. In fact, there's a very famous scene in a movie I think it was Scary Movie. Correct me if I'm wrong. In one of the movies, the Scary Movies, you know, the parody. There's a scene where Simon Cowell is sitting at he's sitting at a table in some type of little club. So he stands up. Of course, this is a film, it's not real life. He stands up to give a critique of the girl who's singing, and this gang of brothers sitting in the corner stand up and pull out their guns and they shoot Simon. Well, that was basically how America felt about him. They had a love-hate relationship with Simon Cowell. So fast forward, you know, a few months ago, David Kazadi, who was at the helm of this project, him and another studio called Wada Studios. He's in partnership with another big name, and of course they're partnering with ShopRite. The show, the Icon Zambia, is powered by ShopRite, but it's put together by Kazadi's team and another studio called Wada Studios. They partnered together on this project. Well, Kazadi phoned me and said, Mr. Morel, we're doing the show, and we want you to be the host. And would you come through and let's iron out the details? I was doing something at the time he called, but because David himself phoned me, I said to him, I said, and I'll never forget, I said, David, I don't know what you're talking about. I don't know what the icon is, but because you phoned me and because you think this is a good idea, I'm going to go ahead and say yes, and then we can iron out the details. Okay, so a few days later, I met with him, we discussed it, and he sort of clearly explained to me what the vision was, and we got it. And of course, as you know, initially, the initial team comprised me, David, Ballad, and Kiddist. Of course, that's changed now. There are two new faces on there. There's Ruth Ronnie, and there's Songbird Wezi. There are 4 judges now. So we signed the deal, and then we started accepting contestants and watching these kids come through. I'm telling you, for the first time in a very long time, I sat there and I listened to each and every one of these kids. Many of them have no hope in the world of becoming singers or entertainers. They were just shooting in the dark. Some of them read the competition and they came through and they said, you know what? The prizes are astronomical. The prizes are just phenomenal. Can you imagine? The winner of this competition gets a brand new house, a brand new car, gets 100,000 kwacha cash, gets $1 million kwacha worth of a recording contract, and you get a year worth of ShopRite supplies for a year. You get medical insurance. The prizes are just astronomical. So naturally, you would attract the chaff and the wheat. Now, the job of the judges is to separate those two, okay? Because now remember, when they first announced it, the chaff and the wheat, the husks and the substance, they're mixed together because you don't know who's who. You have to sift through them. You have to sieve, okay? You have to sieve. What's to sieve in Muchibemba? What is to sieve? Tell me in the comments. It's not sieve, it's sieve. You have to sieve. Tell me in the comment. What is it? You have to separate the wheat from the chaff. What is that? Here it is. Here it is. Ukusefa. That's right. That's right. I knew it was something. I knew it was something. Ukusefa. Blessings, Piswell says ukusefa. Yes, that's to sieve. So you have to sieve. Now, the process of sieving, ukusefa, separating the wheat from the chaff, sometimes is a very painful one because you have to be honest. Now, you have to understand also that there's no time to play patty cake, baker man. There's no time to tiptoe through the tulips. There's no time to hold hands and sing kumbaya and look to the sky and hope the pie falls out of the sky. There's no time to call what isn't and say that it is. No, this is real entertainment. This is show business. Show business is about showing you not only the money, but show me the goods. Okay. So here it is. When the kids come forward, David Kazadi, Ballad Zulu, Ruth Ronnie, Songbird Wezi are not therapists. Okay, that's not their job. Their job is to tell you the truth, is to say, you can sing, you can't sing. Now, in the process of doing that, in their honesty, sometimes they say things that rub people the wrong way, in the very same way that they do it over there in America, in the same way they do it over there in Britain. And I know it's fine for you to sit there and say, well, Kazadi's trying to act like Simon Cowell. Well, it's a talent show. Inspiration is drawn from different people. Okay. Michael Jackson's moonwalk was not his moonwalk. He saw these real talented black kids on the streets of Los Angeles that could do that. And then he hired someone. He paid them, I think it was $1,000 to teach him how to do the moonwalk. And Michael Jackson got that inspiration from watching these kids on the street, paid somebody to teach him. He taught him. And then Michael Jackson did the moonwalk on stage, and he turned it into his own. So anytime you think of Michael Jackson and the moonwalk, you think, well, Michael invented it. He didn't invent it. My point is, we draw inspirations from different people. So when you say Kazadi is copying Simon Cowell, well, of course. Simon Cowell's also received inspiration from other people. It's a mix and match, is what it is. Okay. His style of critiquing may be similar to Simon Cowell's, but David Kazadi has made it in his own way. In the same way that Ballad Zulu has his own style. Ballad Zulu is more measured, I think. Ruth Ronnie is going to bring her own flavor to it. Songbird Wesley is going to bring her own flavor. Everybody has their thing. Everybody does their thing. Now you remember there's a young man that stepped forward. I forget his name now. You can tell me in the comments. He stepped forward and he rapped. And David didn't think that the kid could rap. And the comment was, "You've got no business singing in this life or the next." That was David's response to it. Now, the kid, the young man took offense to that naturally. Okay. Naturally, anybody would, I would, and the kid began to defend his position. And I must say, I appreciate the fact that the kid stood up for what he believed. He said, look, you can't tell me that I've got no business singing in this life or the next. Okay. And then he started saying, well, I can write songs. And then David said, well, you know what? You may be a good writer, but you're not a good singer. Now, you have to remember, just because David Kazadi says you can't sing, it doesn't necessarily mean you can't. It's just David's critique. David thinks you can't sing. I'll give you a story. The great Bob Dylan. Have you ever heard of Bob Dylan? You know who Bob Dylan is? Honey, Bob Dylan can't sing. But boy, he sold millions of records. Bob Dylan can't sing to save his life. But oh boy, he sold multiple millions of records. Why? Because Bob Dylan sings in his own way. There are people that don't think that Willie Nelson can sing. He's got his own thing. I'll never forget, you guys know the story. Michael Jordan, the famous African-American basketball player, who was told when he was in college, he was cut from the college team. The coach, when Michael Jordan was just an obscure little kid that nobody knew about, his coach, his high school coach, looked at Jordan and said, oh, you can't play basketball worth a darn. You can't play basketball. We're going to cut you from the team. Well, what did Michael Jordan do with that information? He took it home with him. He processed it. And he said, you know what? That coach said I can't play basketball. That coach has omitted me from the basketball team, the high school basketball team. That coach does not see talent in me. But guess what? I'm going to prove him wrong. Michael Jordan went out there and he kept working at his craft, kept improving, kept practicing, kept playing. He got better and better and better. Why? Because he took the criticism for what it was and then he changed it. He changed the narrative. Folks, now, does it mean that the basketball coach was wrong? No, he wasn't wrong. He was telling Jordan the truth. In a sense, he was saying to Jordan, if you think you're any good, you need to get better. Because the world is a mean, nasty place. It's not going to let you down. It's not going to lay you down on a bed of roses and tell you, oh, don't you worry about a thing. You're going to be fine. Oh, people are just haters. You can play basketball. God knows you can play. The coach knew that at that time, Jordan didn't have the goods that it took to be a good basketball player. So what did Michael Jordan do? He went back to the drawing board and he said, oh, I'm going to get better. I'm going to keep shooting, keep practicing, keep doing it. Instead of spending 4 hours on the court, I'm going to spend 8 hours on the court. That's how you take criticism. If you know you've got something, do better. But if you feel entitled, if you feel that you can walk up to a competition and have them stroke your ego and say, oh, you're going to be fine. When you step onto the world stage and you're not fine, the world is going to be very quick to tell you you're not fine. So this is the you're being baptized in fire. That's what it is. It's called baptism by fire. Separate the wheat from the chaff. So the truth about David Kazadi is, and this is the truth, is that he sees the kid at that time didn't have the goods it took, but the kid can change the narrative. It's not up to David to change the narrative. That's just David's opinion. If the kid goes back home and he's bitter and he's angry and he's sullen and he's sad, of course those are genuine emotions. Okay, let's not negate that. Let's not ignore that. Those are real emotions. Because in a sense, it's rejection. Nobody likes to be rejected. It's like love. When you propose love to a woman, you like a girl and you think she's pretty. And you walk up to her and say, hey, listen, my name is so-and-so. And I was wondering if you and I could, maybe go out for a cup of coffee and chat and talk. And the girl turns to you and says, Negro, have you lost your everlasting mind? That's rejection. I mean, that's a deep bullet. Now, the guy can walk away and say, you know what? I'm not worth anything. Or he can say, maybe she's not the right one for me. Maybe I should look somewhere else. Or maybe she thinks something's, maybe I wasn't dressed right. Or maybe I had a bit of stank underneath in my armpit. Maybe I should go out and buy some deodorant. Maybe I need to cut my hair, put on some nice clothes. Maybe I need to get a better education. Maybe there's so many things you can improve from criticism. But if you're bitter, it's going to kill you. So the truth about David Kazadi is this. That was his opinion and his outlook of the young man. But it doesn't mean that the young man has to stay there. The young man has to understand that David's criticism is not only genuine, but it's authentic. Because he wants the kid to realize that the world is a mean, nasty place. The world is not sunshine and rainbows. It'll beat you to your knees if you let it. It will. So don't walk around here tiptoeing through the tulips. Take the criticism, internalize it, process it, learn from it, do better. Oprah Winfrey once famously said, when you know better, you do better. Okay. And then lastly, what I wanted to say about, there's a young photographer, I forget his name. He's very vocal on Facebook. I'll get his name right in a moment. He said something here recently. What's his name? He's the guy on Facebook, very famous. He's a photographer, very vocal. He talks a lot of smack about different people and stuff. I forget his name. Tell me in the comments his name. What's his name again? You guys know him. Don't you know him? Uh, yeah, who is it? I'll get his name in a moment. It'll come to me. Something. Well, he said that he's going to boycott the show. Okay. He said, oh, I'm going to boycott the show. I'm going to boycott ShopRite. I'm going to boycott the sponsors. Now, let me explain how the entertainment industry works, especially social media. Whenever you hear someone boycott anything on social media and they say, we're not going to watch this show anymore, you know what that means? That's code. That's a coded message for from now on, this is all we're going to watch is that particular show. So I hate to be the one to have to break this to you, but that Icon show has now become the most popular show on the internet from now on. So anyone who says to you they're going to boycott it, oh honey, trust me, they're going to be watching every Thursday night at 21:30. They're going to be tuning in to watch it. Nobody's going to boycott anything. In fact, if anything, the show is just going to get bigger and bigger and higher ratings. So don't listen to these photographers that tell you on Facebook that they're going to boycott, even though they say they are boycotting. They're the first ones watching, and that's the truth. All right, let's read a couple of comments. Somebody says, absolutely, you ain't lying. Ray Mimi says that's rubbish. You're talking trash. We will destroy that show. I would love to see you do it, because I guarantee you it's just going to get bigger and bigger and bigger. If you couldn't destroy Simon Cowell and America's Got Talent, if you can't destroy Paula Abdul with America's Got Talent, if you can't do any of that, how the hell are you going to destroy this show? It just doesn't gel. And you know what they say? If it's not gelling, then it's not jello. Zambia kuchalo. You ain't lying. Somebody, okay, this is a question. Somebody says, here it is. Mr. Mwewa. Here it is. Mr. Mwewa, oh dear. Mr. Mwewa, your allegiance is to the contract you signed. Okay, my question is this, is what I'm saying truthful? Regardless of whether or not I signed the contract, is what I'm saying truthful? Isn't it truthful? Am I not telling you the truth that criticism on this type of platform is authentic? And David telling a young man, you can't sing. That's his opinion of the young man. That's his opinion of the level at which this show demands. That's David's opinion. David believes this young man in this category cannot be an icon in this category. He may be something else somewhere else, but not here. Now, here's the thing, and I have to repeat this. It doesn't mean that the young man is nothing. No, it simply means the young man has to go back home, look in the mirror, and assess, can I do this? Am I up for this? Do I really believe I can do this? Or am I cut out to do something else? Or are my talents somewhere else? It's like me. I think it's fascinating to fly a plane. I think it's fascinating. I really do. I think it's absolutely beautiful. But if I go to flight school and I don't meet the criterion, what are they going to say? Are they going to say, oh, Mwewa, you don't meet the criterion, but we don't want to be negative. We're not going to be haters. Come on in. And then, I take the flight school thing and then I fall short, and then they say, well, you didn't do so well, but we're not haters. Here are the keys to that plane over there. There are 350 lives on that plane, fly them from here to Cape Town. Good luck. We believe in you. 350 people dead. Why? Because somebody said to me, I was okay. I was fine. Come on, wake up. This is the real world. All right. And let me say this. That guy, David Kazadi. Oh my goodness. Sorry, guys. I have to. What happened? Connection, your camera. Make sure you have the right camera selection. All right, here it is. There we go. We're back. We're back. I was going to say, David Kazadi, as much as you want to judge him, that kid is pretty amazing. He operates in a completely different level. His work ethic is incredible. His vision is clear. It's crystal. And I find it, honestly, it's a privilege and an honor to work with someone that has such a wide scope in terms of vision, forward thinking. Let me just say this. The second night of shooting, we shot, and it's literally grueling hours upon hours upon hours. There was one time we recorded for, I think, for 10 hours. And after the recording, David walked back into his office and he took off his jacket, put on another jacket. And I said, "Where are you going?" He said, "Oh, I have to go teach a class for about 2 hours." And I looked at him and I said, "This kid, he shoots for 10 hours, goes in his office, wraps up that shoot, and then goes to teach a class for 2 hours." Amazing. All right. So the truth about David Kazadi is that he's a great guy. He really is. You just have to understand him. And for the young kid, I say to you, take the criticism, improve on where you know you have to improve, and we hope to see you in a better place. Okay? God bless. Thanks, guys. Bye.